I'm Mickey, and today we're going to be watching Evolution of Mickey Mouse in Disney Park. Before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. And let's get right into the video.
What's going on, Disney fans? It
Oh,
is Disney Dan here with episode 1 of our new Disney history series that I'm calling
wow.
Distory. That's right, I just took Disney and history and
Myself.
combined it together to make my own word. And in this first episode, we're going to take a peek at something that I think is absolutely fascinating: the evolution of Mickey Mouse costume characters in and out of the theme parks throughout the decades. Now, everyone is familiar with the Mickey Mouse you see here in this video, the bright, bubbly, looks like he's pulled right out of a cartoon kind of version of the character, but he hasn't always looked like that. In fact, he's had a very interesting, long, and weird history. And to start, we need to go back to 1934, where Mickey was at the height of his newfound fame, even being included as a Thanksgiving Day parade for the Macy's Parade, which is pretty cool. Here is the first picture I could find of him shaking hands with Santa at the Conn's toy department from the Oakland Tribune. It wasn't until 1937, though, that Mickey made his first red carpet debut at the premiere of Snow White. Now, this is a really weird costume. A black unitard with shorts and gloves, and this weird fabric mask that was actually very similar to the way that Mickey was sold as a stuffed plush animal.
No.
Totally weird and interesting. Fast forward to 1955, during the opening days of Disneyland, where Mickey made his first theme park debut. Now, when Walt opened up Disneyland, he didn't have any of the costume characters readily available like we know and love. So what he had to do was reach out to, believe it or not, the Ice Capades, which since the early 1950s had been featuring licensed Disney characters in some of their big numbers. And so Walt reached out to the Ice Capades and borrowed a couple of the costume characters, including Mickey and Minnie. Now, these characters are particularly weird looking because of the big gaping holes in the costume to allow the performers to see. Here's a clip from the opening day of Disneyland.
Oh my god.
And they're on their way, ladies and gentlemen. I can see them coming.
Oh my
There they
god.
go. And they're going into the Mickey Mouse Theater, a beautiful movie house which will have a continuous performance for children who visit Fantasyland.
As you can see from the clip and these photos, these big, kind of horrific-looking gaps, which were necessary for the ice skaters to have that wide range of vision,
go to there.
kind of made them look particularly horrifying. It wasn't until 1958, when Alice in Wonderland ride opened up in the Disney parks, that a more presentable, not so gaping holes in the face kind of versions of Mickey and Minnie were presented and looked kind of decent, but still kind of frightening at the same time. There were a lot of complaints, and kids really did not like these versions of the character.
The eyebrows. That's so weird.
We're looking up Main Street from the heart of this magic kingdom as a world-famous figure signals the start of the big parade.
Oh my god. Okay. I don't like the unitard. That's so weird. That's so
kind of
weird.
ushered away that horrifying Mickey head design and brought in a more friendly, more cartoony-looking Mickey head, thanks to the grand reopening of Tomorrowland that was televised and kind of was made a big deal of. We got this fun, big, hard-molded Mickey head. Still kept the Ice Capades unitard with the shorts, which was not really that favorable, but the Mickey head was a massive improvement. Skip forward to 1960, when Disney got the great idea to kind of improve the proportions and make Mickey not really look like just a dude in a black unitard with a big head on top, but instead try to make the proportions a little bit better. And they did this by kind of making these big-headed characters that the cast members would perform in, and the cast member's head would be up in the hat, and the arms of the costume character couldn't really be controlled. They were kind of like floppy doll arms. They got a ton of complaints about this design because the realness of the character was kind of lost, because there really couldn't be any interaction with the guests and the costume characters, and the face was all like soft rubber and weird. It was 1962 when Mickey got the kind of major overhaul led by Walt. In fact, Walt picked out a 4'6" Ice Capades performer named Paul Castle, which kind of set the precedence of that shorter performer being used for Mickey and Minnie, to give them a more realistic height instead of them being really tall characters, to kind of better interact with the kids. They had a bow tie and the suit and the pants. It was a really great kind of look that they then expanded upon and changed and evolved over the years. But this was like the core Mickey Mouse look that was born around in the early 60s. 1978 was the 50th birthday of Mickey Mouse, and the Great Parade that was debuted in 1978 kind of showed off this new Mickey called the Spirit of America Parade. This Mickey had big, thick black eyeliner, and he moved to a four-finger design, and most importantly, the hips of the Mickey were rounded to give him a more defined shape in the body. It was 1987 during Mickey's 60th birthday that he got another overhaul, and this one kind of changed made a smaller bow tie, smaller, rounder eyes. They dropped that thick black eyeliner that was so iconic in the 80s, and kind of made it a more friendlier face. In 2004, though, we saw a huge step forward in the Mickey Mouse costume characters, and that is through the articulated heads. The Mickey could blink, he could lip sync, and it was really, really cool, which then led to the guest interaction meet and greet Mickey that could interact with guests and talk to them thanks to a two-way mirror inside the Magic dressing rooms in Magic Kingdom's theater. Right when you first walk into the park, guests could go in there, interact, talk with Mickey, have full conversations. It was a really amazing step forward and kind of incredible. I just blew my mind when I first saw it. In 2016, Shanghai Disneyland debuted these new Mickey and Minnie that garnered a lot of controversy, kind of changed the core shape of the head a little bit, got much higher eyebrows, thinner, rounder, more ovally eyes. It was kind of an interesting choice, and it kind of, I believe, pulled Mickey more into the cartoon world, but definitely got a lot of negative criticism from big Mickey fans. So the evolution of Mickey has been a long one that has stretched over decades and has really been fascinating, and I'm sure we're going to see more and more developments and more articulation and great stuff to happen with these characters. But in researching this, I was just absolutely fascinated and had to share a bunch of this information with you guys. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what your favorite Mickey version was over the past 60 years. And as always, please subscribe.
Okay, so that's going to be the end of today's video. Make sure to like if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what you want me to watch next. Okay, that's all, everybody. Bye-bye.